All right, there we go. Testing one, two, three. Testing one, two, three. I think we are good to go. Hey everyone, hope you guys are all having a wonderful day out there today. I know this is what's going to be called a nasty Black Monday here, no relation. But wanted to give you guys an update. I think my computer's all fixed up, so we should be able to have a few streams here. And I'm thinking I do a morning stream, a midday stream, an evening stream, and then maybe if everything continues to work out okay, then we can start going up. We can start going with maybe a nightly stream after I get back from the lounges and stuff like that. So we'll see. But because I was so worried about my computer and everything like that, I basically moved my computer setup upstairs. So I'm in my upstairs guest bedroom instead of my downstairs living room. So now I have two living rooms again. What am I going to do with those? I don't know. But I now bought this little light thing. It's kind of bright outside, so it doesn't really look as cool, but it will look cool. I wanted to give Loki a treat before we get started here because there is a lot of news to go over today. But long story short, I think my computer's back to normal. I had to change a lot of stuff. I had to go into the settings. I think it worked out. But anyway, here's Loki trying to get his treats for the day. I don't know if you guys... Oh, yeah, you guys can see him. Yeah. So that's the new view of Loki. I was going to do something, but I think I need another camera for it. Maybe like a webcam. There's a bed behind this thing over here for my guest bedroom, and I'm thinking of turning the bed. Loki likes to lay on it. I could have like a Loki cam every now and again. We check on Loki as he's just napping on the bed. Okay, let's give one more treat to Loki because he hasn't actually got a treat for a minute from you guys. All right, last one. Yeah. Oh yeah, sure, good boy. No, okay, good. Oh, see, he's gentle because he hasn't got one in a minute. You know what he's been getting as treats in the last few weeks, last week, tri-tip pieces. But he has to cut. I have to cut them up because he doesn't like to eat them whole. But okay, I got a whole list of tabs I want to get through. There's a lot of them. I just want to take you guys step by step, starting off with technicals, all the fun stuff here. Then we're going to be going over to a bunch of CNBC news. From there, we're going to be looking at the economic calendar to kind of reinforce the idea that, hey, CPI is coming this Wednesday, so we could be potentially close to some type of bottom, or at least the bottom may happen this month, which could be a good sign for us if CPI is where we want it to be, of course. And then we're going to be looking at just where the rest of the market is, see if there's any Cointelegraph news, and of course, we're just going to be looking at a couple CNBC videos. Excuse me. The one I want to watch first, and you can see how Loki jumping on the bed impacts the camera, which is why I got to move the bed that way, move my little coffee table up, and it'll be good. So there's a whole host of things. So let me just kind of dive into it right now. Happy to see all of you guys back. Thanks for waiting on me to get this computer fixed up. I had to fix up this computer only because I was looking at buying a computer, and because of all the GPU shortages, they said it would take about 30 to 35 days for it to be given to me, which means no streaming for 30 to 35 days, which would be like a travesty. So let's get started, okay? So we already know Bitcoin's bearish here. We've been talking about Bitcoin being bearish for like, what, weeks now? Since February? Yeah, since February. And that continues to be proven, right? So what we're seeing right now is the continuation of that downward momentum pushing us down. We broke down below the 20-week moving average here. We're setting up for the 50-week moving average. We don't typically break down below this. We haven't broke down below it for a while here. The last time we were down below this was all the way, I guess what, back over here a couple times in December of 2021 and back over here in July of 2021. And, you know, we come below it every now and again, right? We do. But recently in this bull market here, we have yet to really close down below it. Let's say close down below it. Excuse me, on the weekly charts, okay? But there's no new news as far as the weekly charts. We've been talking about this being bearish. It's bearish. You know, we got to move on from that. The daily charts still remain bearish here. I was hopeful that maybe we might have an opportunity to try to hold support, but coming into last night, there was just not much happening. So we ended up breaking down below this smaller level of support right here on 82,256, broke right back down, plus breaking down below the 200 weekly moving average. And I mean, the one I was looking at is if you go over here to maybe like a 4-hour chart, you can see that uptrend from here to here, right? Once you start breaking down from that, momentum's already bad, stochastic's already bad, RSI is already bad. You're going to have to take that short, unfortunately. But we had opportunities over, last week to see if we can get anything done, and it really didn't happen. And I made the mistake of actually putting out a video Thursday, which when I thought was Friday, about the crypto conference, saying the crypto conference or the crypto summit was a dud. Well, I'm still right. It was a dud, but I made a huge mistake because I was on the wrong day, because without streaming or without doing work in my life, I have no idea what day it is. I go back to being a primitive degen, I guess is what they call us. But long story short, we're seeing Bitcoin actually try to head back over here towards around 74,000 bucks. Basically, this nice little order block that I made, that's where Bitcoin seems to want to head even more down to that level. And you're seeing this happen not just on Bitcoin, but with Ethereum as well. Maybe a little bit with Solana, but Solana is actually a little bit more dangerous if you ask me. So if you go over here to the monthly chart for Bitcoin, let's get rid of this trend line here for a second. You can see that support level that's coming up for us. You can see it. Whether we bounce all the way back up, make a huge double top or something like that in the future, as of right now, we are getting pushed down towards that support level. So if you guys are looking to buy a chunk of Bitcoin with the opportunity of going higher, right, like people did way back over here, that's where you're most likely going to want to buy it if you don't want to do typical dollar cost averaging. Excuse me, guys. Ooh, I just started a new diet today where I basically drink a lot of smoothies. And I drink a big smoothie, and it was filling. Like the losses we saw from this high to this low over here was 33.5%. So far over here from this to where we are now, it's at 28%. If we were to go a little bit lower, that's kind of around the same 33% range, actually. So it's not like we haven't been here before, but I think what's happening is it's more of a violent move. Remember, this took like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 5 months of just like dying down. This is all happening realistically within 2 months here. So people, of course, are going to be a little bit more shook, and I think altcoins falling over, what's really making this kind of a hard thing. But you go over to Ethereum now, look at that. Ethereum is doing the same thing. We had that breakdown that we were talking about. On top of that, we are heading back down here to the 1,700 level, maybe at the worst $1,500 level. I'm going to buy up some Ethereum down here, and I'm going to try to ride that wave back up. This is not some type of swing trade necessarily. It's more of like attempting to buy a potential bottom. If we swing back up, I sell. If we don't swing back up, I'm holding, and I'm okay with holding. This is money I have to like let hold, if that makes sense, right? So that's kind of my mentality on some of these assets. Going over here to Solana. Solana's in an interesting spot because you see the support level right here. There's one. We're kind of breaking down below that right now, but we're testing the bottom of it. We haven't broken down yet. After that, we have this little bit of a hiccup right here, kind of around 80 bucks. And I think this kind of like zone that it's made right here, right? I think that's probably as far as I want to buy Solana. It's probably in the low 90s to like high 80s. That might be the best opportunity because it doesn't seem like we're going to get any reprieve from these tariff battles. Trump is pretty adamant that there's going to be some type of disturbance from this. There's going to be some turmoil, but we're going to have to live with it because what happens on the other side is going to be that glorious, if you will. On the 15-minute chart right now, you do see that Bitcoin, of course, has been coming down. Guess what happened? I'm just going to remind you guys, for you day traders out there, New York time, it's where it's at. New York time is where it's at. So just keep that in mind. If you guys do like to trade and you guys do want to go with the momentum, if you just like open up some trades kind of around market open, usually you have a pretty good idea of which way the market's going. And again, you have like hours to like look at it, right? Okay. So here's where things maybe get a little bit more complicated for us. Oh, enable ads on CNBC. Sorry. So I sent my computer into the shop, but they did a complete Windows reboot. So I had to re-download Chrome. I had to re-download everything. It was crazy. Fresh. Oh, look at that. It knows what I want to do. Okay, that's awesome. All right. There's so much stuff we could talk about here. So much stuff. Dow tumbles 900 points. NASDAQ drops 4% as market sell-off intensifies on recession fears. Live updates. Again, Jerome Powell just said the economy is fucking great. It's not fucking great. Don't know what Jerome Powell was talking about. He might have said the word good, but it's not even good. So I'm going to talk about that actually in a few seconds as a rant. U.S. oil getting cheaper. This may be the cheapest oil has been in a while. If we can get a breakdown, guys, we may have cheap gas, and that may actually help inflation out a lot, which could therefore help Jerome Powell fit into reality a little bit better, okay? This is the monthly chart for oil. We haven't been this slow in a minute. Okay, we have not been this slow in a minute. I think Trump's energy policies are slowly taking effect with the fact that the economy is slowing. It's not just Trump. It's not just economy. It's like a little bit of a mix because of regulations and stuff like that. Dollar index coming down quite a bit. Russell 2000 breaking down. SPY breaking down. Again, I want to reiterate, we've been talking about these things rolling over for a minute, but they did not want to go down without a fight. And you can see over here the roll-off that's happening right now, because what we've been waiting for are these change of characters. We've had roll-offs in the past, right? But no change of character. Roll-offs in the past, no change of character. Finally have that change of character, plus the rolling off here. It's going to be a very interesting next few weeks for us here. Very interesting. NASDAQ coming down as well. Dow Jones coming down as well with a nice little double top here if we break down. So momentum. Still no change of character here though, but it is interesting to see the stochastic finally come off the highs over here. Same with the MACD. It's been coming down for a minute, and you've been seeing a little bit actually of a divergence here. So those divergences are playing through as well. Even gold is having some issues right now. So, nothing is really thriving in this market for the most part. All right. Now, everybody's freaking out about this type of stuff. I think it's better if I just show you what they're talking about here, because remember how I told you guys that like everybody's gonna complain about Bitcoin volatility, like Bitcoin's down quite a bit. Like, okay, for example, from the highs of Bitcoin to where we are right now, we are 29% from highs, right? 29% from highs. However, if you were to go over to, let's say, an NVIDIA, which is like the poster child, right? Who draw that arrow coming down there? Who did that? You'll see that from the highs, I think that's the highs, we're currently down 30%. So NVIDIA has been performing worse than Bitcoin. People don't seem to want to realize that. And again, this is why I was telling you guys before, though, when these things fall, they will fall hard, and it's a really beautiful thing because you finally get to buy up what you want. Remember, I was selling off all my NVIDIA over here and over here and over here and over here because, again, they did the split, but NVIDIA was climbing for a while. Now, somebody like me, I finally get an opportunity over the next few months to start actually buying up some NVIDIA, which I'm really happy about. I think I may actually buy up some NVIDIA this week. Small amount, but still adding to my position. Look at Tesla. Oh, Tesla. Down to 225. Not looking so hot. This is why everybody's freaking out. This is Elon Musk, company. This is Elon, the friends with Trump. It's not really doing too hot. The media is pouncing on Tesla right now as well. Google is starting its breakdown. And well, that's Devon Energy. We don't need to worry about that. Disney about to have its own breakdown. You're seeing a lot of bad signs for the market. Now, this doesn't really represent the fundamentals of like a recession or something like that. But just to like explain to you guys that we are looking at some interesting times ahead. And even things like Apple, which are more stable, they're testing out their supports as well. So Apple may in fact roll over and head back down here to maybe the low 200s. Not bad, but just a little bit of a downward move. Usually Apple's more stable than a lot of the big tech companies here. All right, let's go back over here. Let me put Bitcoin back on the chart. Let's go over here to the 15-minute chart. You can see we still are getting pushed down even as I'm talking to you guys. But it's important that we kind of just go through the rest of this news here because it all matters. All matters. So can I actually zoom in on this? Maybe this will help out a little bit more. There you go. Trump says a transition period for the economy is likely. You can't really watch the stock market. So this to me just kind of says, okay, Trump understands that he is going to be actually forceful with tariffs. Wall Street is going to kick and scream about it, but he's not going to back down. That's basically the message I'm getting from Trump right now. If you guys are getting a different message, let me know, because I know this is like part negotiation, part fixing the United States economy, because he wants us to become, how do I describe it in like basic terms? He wants us to make things here that we can sell to other countries and not just services. He wants us to have cars that go international, AI chips that go into like that type of stuff. Just make stuff. And see, I don't even know what we really make in the country. So yeah, that's my brain. But that's kind of the gist of it. Here you go. This is what the president said Sunday. What I have to do is build a strong country. You can't really watch the stock market. So there's going to be some news stuff like this. I'm not going to pay attention to that too much here. Nvidia down 30%. Nvidia is worse than Bitcoin. Just let that sink in a little bit, guys. I don't think you guys are really just letting that sink in. Nvidia is doing worse than Bitcoin. From high as tech-led sell-off hits Magnificent 7. Yeah, everybody's getting hit. Okay, but these guys had one of the worst chip rollouts I've ever seen, and they're actually doing some false marketing on their chips, so I can't blame them for having such of a bad price over the last few weeks. All right, so here's the main headlines. Dow Jones is almost down 1,000. S&P is down about 3%. NASDAQ is down about 700. Almost 4.5%. Brutal. All the news stories are just everything about this. You know, Beyond Meat is not doing so hot, I guess. But MicroStrategy down 15%. Tesla down 14%. Ploven Corp is down 12%. You got a few like pharmaceutical companies and energy company doing okay, but for the most part, you can tell things are just not looking that wonderful at this point in time. But here's where things could potentially get a little bit better for us. I would say potentially here. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, and if you guys can, since I am starting to stream again, please make sure to hit the like button. The like button helps out a lot, and I mean a lot when it comes to these streams. Wednesday, March 12th, that is in 2 days, that is this Wednesday, we have the Consumer Price Index, CPI data. This could potentially help the market out a lot. We all know that inflation has been going up. Actually, let me pull this up. I didn't spell that correctly, but that's okay. There you go. You guys can see that inflation has been going up the last few weeks. I feel like my computer screen used to be a little bit more naturally zoomed in, but all right. You know, we were at the 2.4% level. Now we're up to 3% here. We need to not be at 3.1 or 3.2. We need to come back down to 2.9 or something like that. So the forecast is for us to come back to 2.9. So that's a good, that's good for us, right? So if we do that, that means, hey, inflation is kind of slowing down again, and then perhaps we can start to roll back down, which is good, because that means by this summer, basically, we should be humming and hawing back up to all-time highs for Bitcoin and doing some really great things. Maybe even sooner if we can, but again, these tariffs are just a wild card, and they're a crazy wild card. But again, forecast is like, okay, 2.9%. I could live with that. If it's 2.8, oh my God, Bitcoin is saved. We're heading back up to like at least the high 80s, if not low 90s, even if we're at 78,000 right now. That's how good of a thing it'll be. Now, it'll be over like a course of a few weeks as everything kind of adjusts around that number. But there are some good signs here. As far as that, we got initial jobless claims on Thursday, producer price index on Thursday as well, core PPI, all that good stuff here. And that's the majority of stuff that I think most of you guys would want to pay attention to. Maybe consumer sentiment, but to me, it's not really the biggest thing here. I think in reality, most people just care about Bitcoin here. And again, I gotta zoom in a little bit more. Oh, this isn't my thing. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. This is the issue here. I had a fresh Windows inboot. I had to install everything. Okay. Oh, it doesn't even keep the stuff I like here. Oh, it doesn't matter. You guys can see it. That's all that matters here. Last 24 hours, IP is up a little bit. OKB is up a little bit. Move is up a little bit here. Sheeb, stuff like that. Flip it around. Most things are down about 10%. Aptos is down about 10%. All you see is red here. What I'm more interested about, I think, and let me see if I can go over here to fix the columns, because the columns just look freaking hideous. Market cap, volume, no. Circling supply, no. We don't need a 7-day chart, we need a 30-day chart. It's just blocking it up so much. You know, that's okay. You guys won't be able to see everything, I guess. But what I can probably try to do is this one. There you go. See how wonky it is right now? Look at the last 7 days. Move is up, ENA is up, Bitcoin Cash up. There are a few, and I mean a very few things that have been able to weather the storm. In reality, you got like World Tokens down 32, Sonic is down 30, Jupiter's down 30, Render's down 30, Injective's down 28, you know. Most things aren't doing so hot. Just as a little bit of a reminder. But we are in extreme fear territory. Extreme fear territory. And usually when we look at Bitcoin's price action, according to... I don't want the volume, there you go. You know, they're usually not bad times to buy, and when you look at it, it's usually not a bad time to buy. We just haven't been in extreme fear in a very, very long time. I wonder if I can... No, that's all. That's awesome. I guess as much as I can get the data from here. But yeah, extreme fear. I can't help but buy something at these levels. I just can't help do it. Bitcoin dominance to 60% right now. Others are actually up a little bit here. Interesting. Last 30 days, last year, cruising up a little bit more, a little bit more. All right, let me get rid of all this other stuff here. I was looking for some good news, and it's basically like stuff like this. Utah Senate passes Bitcoin bill, but scraps key provision, right? So not a lot here except for like ugly start. A lot of these are like AI articles, I feel like, but they're okay. They're okay. But here's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. This is Donald Trump's response. So what I got to do is actually go back over here. I actually have a new YouTube button that I can do. So it goes like this, and boom, now it fits up perfectly. So what we're going to listen to very fast as soon as I turn off the music is basically the White House's response to all this. I think what I actually want to do is open up CNBC and actually look to see if there's any other new videos besides this one. I mean, here's one right here as well. So I'll be talking over it bit by bit. I'll be doing pauses. I can't just play the entire video without YouTube getting really mad at me. So just understand that if I pause it to talk, it's because I have to, not because I want to. All right. So let's listen in and see what's kind of going on here.
President Trump is speaking about the recent stock market volatility. Eamon Javers joins us now with more. Hey, Eamon.
Nobody's happy about this. You can tell. Look at everybody's faces.
Yeah, good morning, Joe. In an interview with Fox News yesterday, President Trump addressed last week's stock market turmoil caused by confusion around his tariff agenda. In one exchange, the president suggested that calls by the business community for clarity on that policy are just a talking point for the big globalists. Here's what he said.
I think that they say that. You know, it sounds good to say. But for years, the globalists, the big globalists, have been ripping off the United States.
And asked if he's okay with the stock market going down, the president dismissed the idea of short-term focusing on the stock market.
What I have to do is build a strong country. You can't really watch the stock market. If you look at China, they have a 100-year perspective. We have a quarter. We go by quarters.
That's true.
And you can't go by that.
Okay, so this kind of crystallizes the idea that he does not care about where the stock price is right now. He cared a lot about that back in 2020, 2019, 2018, 2017, and you know, when he was president. This means that we're going to be facing some turmoil of ourselves, okay?
Now, that's a striking departure in approach from the first Trump administration, when cabinet members suggested that the stock market was a good barometer for how well the administration was performing. But this is a much more populist Trump administration than in the first term, and you see that reflected by the president now dismissing stock market losses as pain for globalists, not his voter base. We'll see if Trump continues that approach later today when he's expected to meet with top technology executives at the White House. We expect the discussion there will include the president's tariff agenda, also his call to repeal the Bipartisan CHIPS Act. And guys, Andrew, I was thinking about this morning. You and I were at a dinner in New York on Thursday night where the discussion was largely around this. Just how populist is this Trump administration, and how much do these stock market losses move the needle inside this White House? And I think it's a different calculation this time than it was last time around.
See, different this time than last time.
It may be different in this particular moment. The question is, if this were to persist for several months or longer, how you think that changes the dynamic, which is to say, if the stock market continues to fall as you were to walk into midterms, for example, does that change what they want to do, or do you think that they're all in?
See, in this perspective, I don't think that it changes Trump's mind completely. What I think this does is I think it makes people lobby Trump more to change his policy than maybe he does that. But I don't think his mind is going to change too much. Remember, there's a lot of people, a lot of congressmen that want to keep their House seats, the congressmen that want to keep their House seats. And if the economy is not doing hot, they will be like, Trump, we're going to lose our seats. The Democrats are going to come in. They're going to launch 1 million investigations into you. 1 million investigations. So you want to help us out so we can help you out. That's basically what I think is going to happen.
So I think there's an intellectual group who are all in, of populist, conservative economics folks who look at this and say what we need to do is entirely restructure the U.S. economy. And the focus for too many years, too many decades, has been on lowering prices, not on families and communities. And that's really the central unit of the economy, should be the family, not prices. And you heard Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, say this last week, you know, that the ideal of the American dream is not about access to low prices, it's about other things. That's that sort of worldview. The question is how much pain Trump himself is willing to tolerate. I think the answer is he's willing to tolerate a lot more pain on the stock market, as you just heard him say, this time around than he was last time. But I don't think that's indefinite, right? I think there's some threshold larger than it was last time around at which the president might respond to stock market losses by changing course politically. I think we've got a ways to go, though, before that happens.
Yeah, it's not just how deep, but also how long. You know,
and he can point to interest rates too, Eamon, which don't always, you know, the bonds themselves don't.
Trump also does want interest rates to come down fast. Jerome Powell needs to start being honest with himself about how the economy is not doing great. Let me see. Where is it at? Just pause. Okay, instead of looking through all this stuff, let me just back up. You can see it in these. Oh, you guys can't even see this because I'm in my YouTube mode. There you go. Well, it says right here, Jerome Powell says the economy is in a good place despite, what does that say? Elevated uncertainty. Elevated uncertainty. I'll go back over here to YouTube very fast, though.
Always sync up with equities, and you could actually say, you know, equities coming down, and as a result, bond prices go up with the safety, and then he would immediately talk about mortgage rates and consumer loans and all the benefits that come from that. So you can kind of have you can pick something else to brag about if the stock market is not cooperating.
Yeah. And it's largely about jobs, right? I mean, so one conservative economist looked at this and said to me, imagine rolling back the clock to 1990 and telling somebody in a small town in the American heartland, look, in the future, your TV will cost 10 times less, but your children are going to have to move out of your town because there won't be any work for them. Would you take that deal? And he said that, you know, 90% of Americans would not take that deal, even if it meant cheaper.
This is an interesting perspective. I don't think about things in terms like this because I was raised in the city, but it is interesting to see how other people have these conundrums and stuff.
But can you get the
because of the devastation of their community?
Can you get the jobs back, especially when you're talking
question.
about automation of factories at this point? I mean, and how long it takes to put some of those
that's
things
the huge gamble.
How big
that
a
this administration is making.
TV? Like a 75-incher, or I mean, what are we talking
debating
about?
whether you'd take the deal?
I mean, no, I would not. I would not.
I mean, how many kids do you have, right? I mean, you know, it's that calculation too.
Exactly. Oh my God. These are really big questions when you think about it, Eamon. And you know, here we are.
Actually, funny enough, very fast, there was an AI I just learned about, and I want to see if I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. Have you guys heard of Manus AI? It's a pretty interesting thing. Let me actually just go here so you guys can see it. It's curious. This is going to be one of those things that when I thought of AI, I thought this is what ChatGPT was before I first learned what ChatGPT was.
Hi, I'm Pete from Manus AI. For the past year, we've been quietly building what we believe is the next evolution in AI. And today, we're launching an early preview of Manus, the first general AI agent. This isn't just another chatbot or workflow. It's a truly autonomous agent that bridges the gap between conception and execution, where other—
Damn, dude's recording in 60 frames per second, like 6K. This is some good quality. Let's watch this in 4K just to get a better idea.
AI stops at generating ideas, Manus delivers results. We see it as the next paradigm of human-machine collaboration, and potentially a glimpse into AGI. Now let me show you Manus in action across 3 completely different tasks.
Honestly, this is crazy stuff.
Let's start with an easy one. In this example, we'll ask Manus to help screen resumes. I've just sent Manus a zip file containing 10 resume documents. Since each Manus session has its own computer, it can work like a human. First unzipping the file, then browsing through each resume page by page, and recording important information to documents. Manus works asynchronously in the cloud, which means you can close your...
God damn it, I just don't know if this music is good enough or not. Let me just lower this music down for a second. We'll listen to it in mute. But basically, it's doing like actual human work. Like when I talked about this, like here's 5 new resumes. When I thought of ChatGPT, this is what I thought it was going to be doing. So I'm going to try to use this and see if it could help me with different things, and like scrolling YouTube, finding transcripts, making transcripts for me, or you know, making scripts for me and things like that. I think it'd be awesome. Right now, I actually don't have my teleprompter up. My teleprompter is like right here. Right, nice and expensive looking. But I haven't attached it because I need to move this bed and stuff like this. But I mean, again, crazy stuff.
We'll have Manus conduct some research. It needs to filter New York properties based on multiple criteria. For complex tasks, Manus first breaks them down and creates a to-do.
I like that, and it says, my wife and I have a combined monthly income of $50,000. Please help me identify suitable properties. That's such a New York thing. That is such a New York thing right there.
List. Manus begins by searching and carefully reading articles about the safest neighborhoods. Then Manus researches middle schools in New York. Next, Manus writes a Python program to calculate my budget. Based on my budget, Manus filters listings on real estate websites. Finally, combining all the information gathered, Manus writes a detailed report and compiles all the resources.
Look at that!
In this example,
this is why I want to
Manus
show it to
perform
you.
a correlation analysis between stocks. For professional data, Manus can access authoritative data sources through APIs. After validating the acquired data, Manus begins writing code for data analysis and visualization. For Manus, coding isn't necessarily the goal, but rather a universal tool for solving problems. It looks like Manus has completed the data analysis and visualization. But interactive data visualization is even cooler, so I asked Manus to create a website based on these data. With my permission, Manus deploys the finished website online and provides me with a shareable link. Let's see what Manus has created.
Look at that. I mean, we don't gotta go further, but damn! Like, this is crazy. This is better than ChatGPT on every level. You know, in cases, try it. There's different ways you can do it right now. You can let it try tasks and stuff like that. But it's very, very new. I actually got to follow it on X here because it is something to keep track of. Oh, I guess, yeah, I'm not even logged into X anymore with all this stuff going on. Oh, do I not? Okay, never mind. I don't even know my X information. Shit. Okay, well, there we go. That's also something I got to work on as well. I got it on my phone, but on this. Oh, they got a Discord. Oh my god, a Discord. This is where it's at. Discord. Only 174,000. This thing has not blown up yet. There we go. Well, I'll focus on that a little bit later. But it's cool that we have it. So, yeah, there is some stuff happening right now besides all the nastiness in the market. As you can see, as we've been talking, Bitcoin's been coming down a little bit more and more and more. But anyway, guys, that's basically it for today. I'm going to chat for a little bit here on some of you guys' questions. But, yeah, definitely just a brutal day overall. Let me see. At least rates are going down. Rates have to come down. Again, Jerome Powell is being... He's going to be forced to change things up here a little bit. Jerome Powell is going to be forced to change things up. Here's Ethereum having a big dip as well. Ethereum is down almost 10% today. Dow is down 1,000 points now. Oh, geez. Sure is 1,062. I'm looking at it right here. Definitely down a little bit more. Oh, man. I wonder if I refresh this, will it say 1,000? Yeah. Jesus, dude, this is wild. It's Black Monday here, though. It's Black Monday. You guys know Lambo this year? God, I guess I must be one of those people that even if I became a millionaire, or I guess like millions of dollars in like, what do you call that? Like cash to go spending on shit, I guess, not retirement and stuff like that. If I was to be like that, I would make that much money. I still don't think I'd actually get a Lambo. I'd probably just get myself a nice SUV or something with all the bells and whistles. That's probably what I end up doing. Yeah, ChatGPT can do that now. What do you call it? ChatGPT does not make it easy. That's all I can say for now. I talk to it. I say, hey, do this. I've never seen it go out and do the research for me. It's very bad when it does it, actually, for me. But I guess I'm in social, like, YouTube stuff, which I guess probably doesn't know much about, to be honest. But when I've tried to do similar things with ChatGPT, it's ended horribly. I mean, like, I don't know how to make a website for me. Like, ChatGPT make a website for me? That is crazy. No, I haven't seen something like that. Oh, here, geez, we're still going down, guys. Let me see. Hold on a second here. Let me back this up. There we go. Yeah, Bitcoin's still getting pushed down here. It's nice to have a dip right before my T-bill chill inside things starts earning me less. Rates going down. Yeah, sometimes. Let's say it was Black Monday. I mean, I buy a little bit. So I'm going to buy a little bit more later on today, but I bought a little bit this morning. I'm just buying a little bit. I'm not dumping my entire cash, portfolio in there. Just buying a little bit. That's all. Buying a little bit. Take advantage of the dip. I wouldn't fit to a Lambo. I can fit into a Lambo, but I can tell you it's not comfortable. I got friends that have Lambos. I got friends that have G-Wagons. I got friends that have all sorts of nice new cars. And the only ones that I like are the ones that are like Mercedes style seats that aren't like having that sports style around them. Because I'm a big guy, yeah. And me in a Lambo, in the passenger seat, sure, it's okay. It's not terrible, but it's not good. Me in the driver's seat, no way, Jose. No way, Jose. Oh, you got a camper van with all the bells and whistles. Actually sounds pretty good. I got a GTR that gives all Lambos the smoke. Oh, man. And hey, Kenny, if you're looking for the technical bounce, we're basically getting close to it. It's basically this level between 76,500 and about 72,548. The ultimate support level is 72,340, though. But basically, I have this order block here because I think we'd probably come somewhere in the middle, then bounce back up. But I would say we're probably looking pretty... So today is Monday. We're seeing some bad stuff. Tomorrow is probably going to be a recovery day as we anticipate CPI on Wednesday. Then CPI will do something crazy again. I think we're getting finished with the daily move that we're seeing right now. I think we're getting close to being finished with it. What about leverages? If you wanted to leverage trade, you could. I mean, we've been talking about this as a shorter's market here, and if you've been doing some shorting, you've been really good. Look at the 4-hour chart. Momentum has been down. This has been bearish. This has been bearish. Everything's been bearish. So if you trade something like this, which is a breakdown, or in this circumstances, I guess this breakdown. Woo! I mean, that was a nice bit of profit. You might have taken profit right here at support. Maybe you waited a little bit longer, or maybe you did a Fibonacci play. There's two types of ways you can do this, I guess. For most people, I guess they're probably just going to do this. So right here, this one is where they'd look to, or they'd look right here at this Fibonacci where you kind of stop for a little bit. So there's different, different things looking here. Next up is all the way down here, matching up with the support level we talked about earlier. Yeah, but it just depends. So far, this has been a shorter's market, so if you're making money right now, you're most likely shorting. If you're longing and trying to do longing day trading, it's probably just not as profitable at this point. Just not as lucrative, I guess you would say, right? But, give it some time. We'll roll back over to bullish side here soon, or not soon, I mean whenever. But right now, it's definitely a shorter's market. The short sellers are making all the money right now. The bottom for Doge, man, Dogecoin's interesting because it doesn't really always follow the support levels that we like to give it, right? We were talking about different opportunities over here where maybe we could have a breakout. Well, guess what? No breakout. We actually had the breakdown right here. This was supposed to extend a little bit longer, so you can kind of see that triangle effect happening there. Right now, you got one around 14.4. After that, you got one on 13.3. Let me just do the fib level and see if it's been honoring anything here. Stop there for a little bit, then came back down, coming down. Oh, geez, the next one's at 9, so... Yeah, there's not really much wiggle room here. You could probably say 14 cents, I guess, is probably a decent one just because of the 200 weekly moving average here. But yeah, Dogecoin looks pretty brutal. It might even work back down here to 12.5 or so. Ooh, it's going to be a minute there. Small buys on the way down, bigger buys up to 90,000. I think that's a better way to think about it for your mental health, because you don't get to see the actual like money that's you're losing in a way, if that makes sense. You know, you buy so you can have that low leverage, or not low leverage, that low average, and then when you start to see that bullish momentum, the bullish MACD, stochastics, RSIs all coming back up on the weekly charts, then you kind of hop on board and like, okay, I feel more confident about buying now. Everything's kind of bottomed out, and then you can kind of like ride the waves as they come across, and then you can either continue to buy as it goes higher, or you can just say, hey, I got this low average right now. I don't really have to worry about stuff. I did all the hard work of buying when everything was crazy, like right now, right? And therefore, when we start to have these crazy moves up, I will start to sell. I'll be making their money, while other people that are buying now won't be able to make their money for like a few months down the road. There's different ways of thinking about it. For mental health, though, I think that's probably the best ways to do it. Downpipes tune S58 Beamer will cook any GTR. Oh, geez. I don't see any Beamer here at Pit TK. Was that TX2K running in mid-7s in the quarter mile? Damn, you guys are going crazy with this talk. That's way above my head here. But anyway, guys, I'm going to end this stream right here. It worked. I did a stream a few days ago, and it only lasted 13 seconds because my computer was having issues. This is like a trial stream just to kind of see how things were going before I do my late night stream. I'll be seeing you guys at 5 o'clock later on tonight. And then I think I'm going to go to the Cigar Lounge for a little bit and record a video for you guys just talking about today. And then I'm feeling like when I get back, I'll be able to stream again, and we'll do another stream. So things should be looking pretty good right here. So relax, take your time. This is a stressful time. And understand, it's not just the crypto market. The stock market is down more than the crypto market right now. Okay? Out of all everything that's going on, just understand, Bitcoin itself is still doing okay. It's the altcoins we know and love. That's where the pain is coming in. And it's definitely some pain. So I'll see you guys a little bit later. Relax. I know it's not good. If this is making your stomach churn or something like that, you know, turn the other cheek. Go outside. It's sunny outside. Maybe I'll take Loki on a walk. It's sunny. Now my ankle's still fucked up, but it's sunny outside. It looks nice. It's peaceful. So relax, guys. It is what it is. Loki. I don't know where you went. Oh, there we go. You guys can see one last treat for Loki. Oh, Yusha, good boy. Yusha, very good boy. There you go. Oh, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. All right. See you guys a little bit later. I expect a lot of card talk. Thanks for liking the video, guys. I appreciate when you guys do that. I'm going to be a little bit more irritating with you guys, just so it heads up. Like, hey, I'm like, hey, everybody, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I normally don't do that, but I feel like I should because I think it actually makes you guys do it. Otherwise, nobody does.